Connor Goldson has left Rangers Football Club. Welcome back to the channel. It's end of an era. We're here with a live reaction to Connor Goldson. It's raw. It's a raw reaction. In terms of fees, 1.7 million by the sounds of it, not confirmed. It doesn't really matter. And, is this where Big Stevie turns around and says that Connor Goldson was great for Rangers Football Club? Yada, yada, yada. Well, let's look at Connor Goldson's journey. Joined us for about 3.5 million from Brighton in 2018, over 6 years ago. Came in. And you know what? For 3 to 4 seasons, was Connor Goldson good? Was Connor Goldson great? Yeah, he was near enough. Because you know what? It wasn't an easy job coming into that Rangers team, but the vast majority of the players that Gerrard brought in gelled and became starters slash squad players for a number of years. And I think you look at Gerrard's windows, not everyone worked out because not every manager's perfect, but Gerrard did such a good job at signing players. He really, really did. Connor Goldson though, immediately I think of him helping us in those games in the Europa League qualifiers to get us in to Europe. I remember being down to 9 men against UFA. Good performance there for Connor Goldson. And the guy, like I said earlier, for 4 years, I thought he was good, right? And I'll say good. You know why? Because the 55 season, he was immense, man. It wasn't just defending. He was scoring crucial-ass goals. I'll never forget leaving Shane Duffy on his arse to make it. Was it 1-0? I think it was 2-0. It was definitely 2-0 in the second half at Parkhead. Fantastic, right? But see, throughout the 4 years that I would deem as good, there was still quite a lot of mistakes for Connor Goldson. You remember, just before we went into COVID, I believe it was that game against Hamilton, where it's some awful defending, and he lets the ball trickle into the back of the net. I'm 95% sure that's that game. He's not without his mistakes. Is Connor Goldson the best defender that we've had at this football club over the past 6 years? In terms of consistency, I think you would have to say so. But for me, I think Philip Hollander is a better defender than Goldson. It's just injuries cost him. Balogun never really gets a proper run out. But I would say it's between those three for who's the outright best centre-back. I would like to have seen more of Nikola Katic, but sadly, we never got that. But yeah, first 3 seasons, 1 trophy. Not all down to Connor Goldson, of course, but when you're getting scudded 3-0 by Hibs in the Scottish League Cup, and this guy turns around and says, we knew we were beat at half time, that's not the mentality I'm after. That's not the answer I'm looking for. No, it's not the answer I'm looking for. Absolutely not the answer I'm looking for. Alright? I need my vice captain to go in at half time. If they can put 3 past us, then we can put 6 past them. That's the fucking mentality I'm after, not this pathetic mentality. Then, the league title season, as I said, brilliant. Then we got to the next season. He was a really important player in that Europa League run. But for me, what he did against Frankfurt, he shat the bed. His arse collapsed. And it's almost like, in my humble opinion, that goal that he cost us against Frankfurt pretty much undoes all the good work that he did in the run. That may sound harsh, but you know what, guys? I'm a winner. I'm not a loser. I don't settle for second place, even if this fucking club has, for whatever reason, decided to settle for second place over the years. And that is probably, here's the wishful thinking. I hope we get more opportunities, but that could be very well the last European final that this club plays in. In our lifetimes, at least, because obviously football will continue on. And if it is, in my opinion, Connor Goldson has fucking robbed me of a Europa League and Rangers of a Europa League. But all in all, first 4 years, I mean, what would you give them, the first 4 years for Connor Goldson? I mean, I'd probably give it a 7. And a 7 may seem too high. For some people, it may seem too low. But like I say, he was a massive foundation in getting us right back to the top of Scottish football. It took 3 years, but we kind of knew it would take that. We had to be realistic. When Gerrard came in, man, it was more hope that we were going to win the league than any faith. But once we are at the top of Scottish football. Once we win the league by 25 points, I'm thinking we kick on. The next season, we didn't win the league. We got the Europa League final, we won the Scottish Cup. I'm not saying that makes it alright that we threw away a league title, but, a wee European final, I'll accept it. What I cannot accept is what happened after in the next 2 seasons. Because Connor Goldson, especially last season, was just shite. It's not good enough. Defensively, we've been fucking awful, and it's not on him. It's not all on him, right? Tav has to take some blame. John Souttar has to take some blame. Ben Davies has to take some blame. Michael Beale, the managers that signed duds, the board that didn't replace people. If Connor Goldson left after the Europa League season, which in my opinion is when a lot of these players should have left, like I said, I'd be holding him at a 7 out of 10 because at the end of the day, he'd only won 2 trophies out of a possible. I guess we got the Europa League final, so you got to factor that in. 2 trophies in 4 seasons at Rangers, it's not good enough, right? He leaves with 3 trophies in 6 years, again, not good enough. But the last 2 seasons for me have completely watered down Connor Goldson's rating here, and I'm going to give it. I'm going to give it a 5 out of 10. That may seem incredibly harsh, right? But the reality is, he's been a part of failure. I don't reward failure. I'm done. See, maybe a couple of years ago, I was like, oh, about Tavernier stats, but I'm not. Fuck Tavernier stats. Nah, sorry, Connor. It's all over. Some people can still bum like the guy and, talk about the rock that 55 was built on. I've praised him for it, but for me, 3 seasons later, 3 years later, we're going into like 4 seasons later. What good's that? It's one league title trips. We need to be winning league titles every season. If he was the rock that 3 in a row was built on, or something like that. If he was the rock that 2 trebles in a row was built on, fuck, here, I'd be right in there with Connor Goldson. As for this right fed right here, I just don't see it. A 5 might seem incredibly harsh, but for me, as I say, he got us up to those heights, and he was a part. If you're going to give him credit for getting us up, you have to take away said credit for taking us down. And yeah, he's overstayed his welcome. I wish him well, but the proof is in the pudding. See if he left after Europa League season or title 55, he'd be going to a club better than Aris Limassol. This is a Diddy club in Cyprus, and I'm not just saying that. Oh, you're better because they beat you and drew you last season. No, they're fucking shite. It was a disgrace we actually dropped that many points against them last season. It sums up his downfall, right? Sums up Tavernier's downfall. They're going to Trabzonspor and Aris Limassol. The truth has been spoken here. If you disagree with it, you can leave it down in the comment section down below. But in terms of his time at Rangers, I'll give him a 5 out of 10. Brilliant. You stopped at 10, Connor. What about the other titles? 1 title in 6 years, 3 trophies in 6 years, and you bottled the Europa League final. I'm sorry, I don't know how you can give it above a 5. There'll probably be some people that are giving him a fucking 9. But anyway, it's a 5 for me.